Good morning. We still have some of these things. They're good. I don't want to complain about having a sweet. They come in like a 400 pack. Because they come from the Costco. Would you like one?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. It's Thursday. It is the last breakfast stream of May. How? Andrew says, if you want to share with the chat, I'm sure we could help. I mean, at this point, after I finish these, there are 2 left. I've eaten them all. And, like, I don't have more than, like, 2 or 3 a day. Some days I don't have any, but it's been taking a while, because, like, you probably shouldn't eat, like, 10 at a time. I can't tell you what to do. You know what's very funny to me, though? On the bag of cat treats that you give to a cat as a treat, there are instructions for how to give that to a cat as a meal.
Those treats are particular.
A lot of treats do that. A lot of them do, because I've seen that on multiple packages. So it'll be like, these are treats for your cat. Yeah. If you want to give it to as a meal, give 17 treats per pound of cat. And I'm like, that means that every meal, like every day, I would be giving Kepler like 200 treats or whatever. Here you go, buddy. We don't do that for stuff like this. Do you know how wild it would be if when you bought little tiny cinnamon rolls, it was like, okay, here's the caloric information, and if you wanted to eat this as your sole meal, you would need to eat 20 a day. I guess it also wouldn't be a very balanced experience, because you do need, like, there's other food groups. Cats can have 200 treats as a meal.
Annoying a rubber band isn't complete without Tiny Eddie's Winter Mint Clam Balls.
I don't like clam balls. That was Bits from Mathman says, had to leave during yesterday's stream, so what snack could I have to commemorate Stephen pulling off 2 harder sequence breaks? Winter Mint clam balls.
Sounds awful.
Nothing says, these sequence breaks were hard as balls to the wall as Winter Mint clam balls. I have a matching mug. I put on this shirt, and when I went to get a mug, this was in front, and I was like, that's funny. Haley, I didn't even know clams had visible I did play Super Metroid yesterday. I'll get that VOD out soon. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. And I did. I've been doing sequence. It's my first time playing Super Metroid, but I've been doing some sequence breaks. Some accidentally, some because I'm a stubborn person, where I can see that something should be possible, and Chad will be like, you'll come back here later in the game when you have this item. And me just going, no, I want to do it now. And then doing it now. It's mostly because I'm stubborn. Which is weird because in every other aspect of my life, I'm not stubborn at all. Right? Chaz and Brandon. When my IRL friends are like, Right? Yeah, Haley, not even gonna respond to that. Cool. Anyway, Super Metroid is super fun. I have a lot of really great things to say about it, and I'm saving them until I finish the game. But it's been a lot of fun, and I totally understand why people think not only is it one of the best entries, if not the best entry in the Metroid series, but also one of the best games ever made. It's very fun. We got 6 months from Not Dragon 23, 47 from Siraj Kandesha, 42 from Nomi Bookworm, 9 months from Ilasan 89. 3 bits from Siraj, who says, it's my birthday, currently curled up in bed with my cat and partnered with COVID.
Aww.
Party!
Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Now, I hope that if the vlog teaches you one thing, it's that birthday do-overs are totally fine. Mao had a birthday do-over. Mm-hmm. The next vlog to come out is Haley's birthday do-over. It's fine.
Make your soup more special with Tiny Eddie's Weekend Forgery Jungle Chickens.
Always getting bamboozled by forgery jungle chickens.
I don't know what a jungle chicken is, but it does sound slightly more dangerous than a normal chicken. We have 1,000 bits from Siraj, who says, Eddie, I can't taste anything, so nothing you give me will taste bad, right? I guess not. I mean, at least this is chicken. Forgery is a wild word to describe food. It's not a good one. Forgery is basically the word version of putting a ingredient in quotes, right? The only way this could have been worse is if forgery was in quotes. Forgery chicken. What does that mean? Anyway. And DL says, lab-grown meat, though. I guess it is, yes, but the lab is in the jungle. Jungle lab. Sorry, I've been playing Mother 3. The Chimera lab is in the jungle. Kind of. There you go. Also, this was all for soup. Make your soup more special. Nah, I'm good, thanks. Anyway, happy birthday again. We got 61 months from We Win. 5 months from Siraj to Clyde Sterling. Otakulus, Obvious Ostrich, Cryptic Storm, and Chaos Codex 199. Siraj, thank you. Appreciate it. It is your birthday, and yet you are giving gifts. We got 31 months from Zach Lumberjack, 18 from Skyward Squiddle, 300 bits from Siraj with Clown. 300 from the Blue Hair Cyborg. It says, well, clown me up. It's the stream of breakfast. I did hear, I was downstairs and heard clowns going off, so now I understand what was happening.
Yeah.
We had 300 bits from Savandera, who says, clown? 300 from Siraj, who says, more clowns because who doesn't love them? And then, in parenthesis, me. They're bloody terrifying. I am curious. It's been a while since I've taken this poll. Morning, Sap. Raise your hand if you have, like, a legit fear of clowns. Like, if a clown is in your IRL presence, you're like, no thank you. Because, like, it's more common than I think sometimes. You can also claim for uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be like a phobia. It can be like no. Brandon says, no, I'm used to being around you. Oof.
I expected Haley's name to be before that.
Like, I'm used to regularly being...
Is Chaz gonna burn you next?
Beat up by Haley. But like, Haley's punches, like, they come, like, straight to the face. Mm-hmm. That's probably not the best analogy, because I'm tall and she's short. But the Brandons are the ones that, like, you don't see coming. Brandons are like, I'm up here, and then Brandon just, like, in the gut. He says, I go right for the knees. Oh, no. Morning, Thomas. Anyway. We had 24 months from Devons. Hey, that's a 2. Congrats on the 2. I'm here to end your football career. Can you imagine me playing football? Because I can't. 66 months from Sapphire Becca. 66 months also from the Great Ass Fairy. 300 bits from Paper Spyro says, Clown Train. 300 from Squid with the Uwu. Also good choice. 300 from Svandera says, I got a fever and the only prescription is more clown.
16. 16.
1600 bits from Gold Lightning says, funny enough, when the clown character was added to ARMS, the developers were surprised to learn the American fear of clowns. I am curious where that comes from. I don't know if anyone has more information about that. Because it is not a global thing. Yeah, it has to be horror films, right? Because Vagabond says Stephen King, Jill Day says Pennywise, and Sapphire Becca says It. So, like, these are all the same answer. I'm really...
See, I think they play off of the American fear of clowns, so I think there was something before.
Really?
Maybe.
There has to be a Wikipedia article that's like clown phobia, and because there's a name for that, I don't remember what it's called, but like, and then it has to have some sort of history. Andy says Stephen King single-handedly scarred an entire country.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy was also a clown.
That's true. Yeah. Colrophobia. The real scary clown source is the guy from Air Bud who was mean to the dog. This is just going to be a little reading for me later. At 12:30 p.m. today, remind me to look into evil clowns. Things that a bizarre supervillain says. Remind me to look into the evil clowns. Research. I'm just extremely curious because I'm like, where did this come from? It does seem to be a bit of an American thing, so I really hope you forget about that reminder. So the thing, Andy, about reminders is that you don't. We had 300 bits from Siraj, who says, "Ya ha ha, you clowned me." 38 months from Alien Whale. 306 bits from Fries Pikachu. Why does Jared have the Chungus? What happened? What's going on at home? Healy says you regularly ignore reminders. Okay. That's a misconception, actually. I don't ignore reminders. I do regularly press remind me in an hour for days, but I never ignore them. I see them. I don't miss them. I just need to be reminded later. It's the snooze button. It's not ignore. I don't think that's the same meaning. We win gifted a sub to Pipe Power. We get 61 months from Death Sun Lee, 65 from Lunagazer 806. Healy, I didn't forget. It was your birthday. I was being polite. 54 months from Snowy Satoru, 55 from Seraphim 2000, 5 months from Mythic Ruby, 30 months from MCL Blue. We win gifted a sub to Sab, 42 months from Paranite, 55 months from Noah, and 300 bits from Blue-Haired Cyborg. It says, but what about the good clowns or the neutral clowns? There are good clowns. Like, clowns cause people to have joy, also.
Maybe.
Like, I understand, like, some people are afraid of clowns, that's totally reasonable, but then also, you know, there's people and children and stuff that are like, oh man, this is great. I love this person is here. They don't say it just like that, because that would be the most bizarre thing to hear out of a child. Oh boy, it is my birthday. I'm so glad that this person has arrived in makeup. But, you know, it runs the gamut. I would be friends with that child. G-Samber gifted a sub to Can't Sleep. Clown will eat me.
It's a Simpsons reference.
Thank you. I didn't know.
I know.
I didn't know. The amount of Simpsons episodes I've seen is on one hand. But I've seen so many of the couch gags. I know a lot of the couch gags. Anyway, let's change the subject. Today, right after stream, 1 hour from now at 10:15 a.m. Eastern, we will all be moving over to youtube.com/StephenVOD to watch Fan Favorites 2023. It is a look back of everything that happened last year. Well, not everything. Only things that were filmed, and only some of the things that were filmed. There will be... It's great. Thomas says, am I in this one? Thomas, you are in this one. The people voted. They voted you in. Becca says, spoilers in the thumbnail. Yeah, so usually when I do these fan favorite thumbnails, normally what I do is I just put people's faces in it. And I changed that this year. I was like, instead of doing faces, because I had already done that, I went through and grabbed a bunch of screenshots of people's faces from the video. Then I was like, what if it was moments instead of faces? So then I did the moments. So I guess it's kind of spoilery, but it's also, I think, a little enticing because it's a reminder of like, oh wait, that happened. Oh yeah, that happened. And then you're like, I want to see what else happens last year. I'm in it, yeah. Chess says 2023 is already spoiled, though. It happened. We were there. It's fair. Yeah. The fan favorites exist because people submit moments, which is, you know, this is a great opportunity to remind you that when you're watching a vlog from 2024 and something tickles your fancy, there's a link in the description of every vlog where you can submit a moment. Please do that, because that is the only way these videos exist. This is entirely.
Thumbnail.
Oh, can we just show the thumbnail? If you had some 2025 fan favorite spoilers, that would be something. Hold on. I have the thumbnail. How do I mean, hold on. I didn't have it saved on my phone, but I had sent it to Haley. So now let me get it from that conversation and then put it in mod.
Brandon in the chair.
Here we go. All right. Mods can show that thumbnail if you want to see the thumbnail. And if anyone's like, I don't want to see the thumbnail, well, then when it shows up, close your eyes. Here's the thumbnail. It's got a bunch of little moments from the year. I might put like a translucent black layer behind the foreground to make that pop a little bit better, but yeah. Love Golden Corral. Yeah, so there's some fun stuff in it, and Thomas didn't make the thumb. Listen, that's the other thing I changed. Is it used to be there were more squares.
Yeah. Because
it used to be a grid of 7x4, so there were 28 squares to fill. So I did 5x3 this year. I was like, let's fill 15. Because if I'm filling with people, I can get to 28 people. There's 28 different people or animals or whatever in fan favorites typically, because I can always hit that. But with moments, I'm like, let's just do 15. Andy says, name all 28 people. Listen, you can't ask me to name friends. We already know I'll miss some. There's 9 of us here.
There's 4 in chat.
Some of them are people who are here.
They overlap, yes.
You can't list the same people. You know more beer than friends. Listen, I can name... Oh, Christ. Okay, well... No, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Me, Mal, Dan, Alex, Haley, Brandon, Chaz, Jeff, Josh, that's 9, Roland, Mom, Dad, Kepler, Rocco, Leica, Will, Austin, Nikki. That was 18. Animals do count.
Come here, sweetheart.
I didn't even get to... Oh, that's... Oh, I really hate that I missed Thomas. Wow. Wow.
No, he laughed.
Wow. 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 I was so focused on not forgetting Josh.
Hi.
Sorry, Thomas. Sab is also here. Sorry, Sab. Anyway, historic... Yeah, no Paul, no Juliet. It is very funny to forget Thomas when Thomas is just like, wow, I didn't
Do you
even...
like chicken nuggets?
I didn't even make the thumbnail. And I'm like, no, buddy. Let me list all my friends. Thomas? I've never heard of that person. Who is that?
Thomas says, do you like chicken nuggets?
Thomas, we can take turns with being in Steven's memory. That was 6,000 bits from Siraj, who says, name 28 people. I'm gonna hand it to myself. 18's not bad. That's pretty good, right? That's not awful. I did name animals, but in fairness, animals go into the thumbnails too, so I figured that that's okay. Which 10 did I leave out? Thomas. Thomas is one of them.
You know where there's a lot of friends that, like, there's a list of you could start with? Kahlo.
Yeah. Trust me, I've never had a problem filling the thumbnail. Next year's thumbnail is going to be 15 Thomases. I'm going to make an alternate version of this year's thumbnail, but it's only Thomas. From every angle. I did leave out Carly. And Kyle. That would have been super easy.
He said it, hold him accountable.
It's fine. Shane says, do you have the A/B testing thumbnail thing? We don't. It's supposed to roll out to everyone this year. I want it so bad. So badly. For those that don't know, there's a YouTube feature that has been available to some people for like a long time. And is going to be available to everyone, or at least every partner this year, and it lets you upload 2 thumbnails, and then they go to different people depending on whatever factors, and then it tells you how the thumbnails performed, and then whichever one is performing better, it might automatically switch over to it, or what. Anyway, that's super cool and neat, and I've wanted that for a long time, and I don't have it. Although I guess the downside is it does cause you to take twice as long making thumbnails. So maybe it's not a great thing. We had 48 months from Salamus Dragoon. Congratulations on the 4. Also, Andrew in the kitchen gifted a sub to Thomas, my good friend Thomas, who I love and know and remember all the time. 35 months from Rojaniel, and 51 months from Juliet 27. Listen, everybody's just doing their best. This is my best. If you had to name a bunch of people, it would be hard also.
Yeah.
Name every Looney Tunes character. Can't do it.
That's not my specialty.
Name 6 paint colors.
Alizarin Crimson, Phthalo Blue, Benzimidazolone Yellow, Cadmium Red, Pyrrole Orange, and Ultramarine Blue.
Most people don't see Looney Tunes characters regularly. What about in your dreams, though? How many people see Foghorn Leghorn regularly in their dreams?
Brandon, let's make a list and then you and I can, challenge each other on that.
Chess says Spencer is currently naming 28 screams.
That's how many socks he wants.
There is this recurring theme on the streams of people who are like, hey, name these things. And then I'm like, listen, I could name those things. And then they initiate a song and they're like, no, really do it. And then it becomes the hardest thing in the entire world. I don't know why. I had one time where people were like, close your eyes and name the colors. And I was like, oh God, what's a color?
Yeah, and you made me come up with pigments.
Yeah, but that's because that's your life. You do around
Name video games.
Sly Cooper. Thomas says, oh God, what's a color is my catchphrase. Listen, there's only a few video games. Sly Cooper, Worms World Party, D2, Nintendo DS web browser. I think that's all of them.
Right, Haley?
Haley, I am so tired of these fake gamer boys getting all this attention online for their Taco Bell outfits. NDO, for $1, name a woman.
What was the saying from some years ago that people were making fun of? Binders full of women.
D2 is an extremely deep cut. It's true. It's true. I'm just thinking of all of the games I know. I've never even played Sly Cooper. I did like a first 20 of Sly Cooper at some point, or a demo. And like, I'm like, oh, Sly Cooper. We got 41 months from Jet Prower, 44 from Empire Builder, 69 from Spiffla, and 69 from Dishnet. Double nice. Double nice. It didn't even... Shane says, is D2 not Diablo 2? No. No, D2 is D2.
PS1?
Dreamcast. Dreamcast.
I know it's in a jewel case.
Yeah. R2 and D2. Yeah, I know Juliet likes Sly Cooper. It's a good game. So they made a bunch of them. Oh god, not that too. Just the one thing. D2. We call that a coin. Video games.
You're so big. You reached up there, grabbed that game.
I'm not that. I'm not that big, really. I'm just. 300 bits from the Reload says, "You're not a true gamer if you don't own the Friends trivia game for the PS2. Yes, it's real. I don't know what to do with it."
Those are double stacked. Good luck. I don't know if they're alphabetized either, so good luck.
There's a lot of F's.
In the chat? What happens next? It looks like it's clips and then it asks questions.
I can't wait for the new...
It's heavy.
What's God's manual? Oh, it's not the manual, is it? It's just... It was back when they decided to use all of the plastic to make game cases, so they're very heavy.
Question categories. Question types.
Vagabond says, "This is such a Chandler moment. I've never seen the show." Yeah, I can't wait for the new exciting breakfast stream segment where people just name a video game and then I very quickly try to find it and pull it off a shelf. That's my favorite.
They have some neat theming to this.
What do you mean?
Game options, game length. You can do a single, double, or triple, and it's like coffee themed because they're always at the coffee shop. So like a single is a shorter game. And there's also game difficulty, light roast, medium roast, dark roast, and then add players. And like, there's like caffeinated mode and decaf mode.
Yeah, we can never play that on stream.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's clips.
It's clips from the show. It's basically like, how fast can I take down my own channel, the game? Which, you know, is, not ideal.
We bought this in Ohio.
We didn't buy it. Someone sent it in.
Ah.
Cheese Hammer gifted a sub to Joe Scarborough 1. Now to put this back. There are so many PlayStation Fs. Like, I had to go past Finding Nemo and the Final Fantasies and Ford. There were 2 Ford games.
Is Guitaru Man PS2 only?
Yes. Well, yes. There's also a PSP Guitaru Man, but I don't know if that's the same game or a different game. I just know that it exists. But we don't have the PSP one.
No, we don't.
But we have...
But it's not on, like, PlayStation Online.
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of games that are on, like, that. Guitar Man might be on PSN. I don't know. Guitar Man's great. It is sincerely super
I was just
good.
thinking, it's a rhythm game. Brandon might like to try it because it's so different.
Yeah, it is very different.
Grab it.
Blonde Guy Gamer says it's a PSP port with 2-player stuff. Okay.
Grab it. It's right after the Fs.
Yeah, but you know what? It's back in the back. Oh, there's the G's. I'm in the Grand Theft Auto section. Hold on.
GI.
Yeah, I see it. It's between Gauntlet Dark Legacy and God of War. Oh man, we only paid $60.
I know.
Yeah, Guitar Man really went up.
This is a cool game.
I hope you can get it on PSN because trying to get an actual PS2 copy is hard.
Vagabond says it doesn't look like it's ever been re-released.
That's such a shame because it's an extremely unique game. It's a very, very cool thing. How to play Guitar Man? It's a rhythm game that uses the face buttons of the PlayStation controller.
I mean, the characters just have so much.
But also the stick, so the stick has to follow a line.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the modern arcade game. What's the arcade game with the things and you do this?
Planet Coaster.
Nope.
Nope, not Planet Coaster.
That's
God.
a wild thing to say.
I said that without thinking.
What's someone in
Groove Coaster.
Groove Coaster.
I was.
Yeah.
I had one of the words right.
Remember when you build a Planet Coaster park with the two? This is really bad hand motion, but if you know what Groove Coaster is, it makes sense. It's fine. You want to hand me Guitar Man back?
Oh, I was gonna leave it out.
You're gonna play it?
I want to try it. I don't think I've ever played it. I've just watched other people play it at Starman.net conventions.
Oh, yeah, it's very fun. Okay, I'm putting this stuff back on the shelf.
Planet Groove Coaster.
Okay, I could probably sit.
Yeah.
Now. I've stood so long. No, there's so many people in chat like asking me to pull out games. I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna just pull out every single game that chat asked me to pull out. I can't do that. Haley, I don't own Xenogears. I don't own that game. You own that game. There are some games that my friends own that I don't own.
That you hope to own one day. Chaz. Chaz,
Listen. Haley, everyone send him Xenogears. What am I gonna do with a bunch of copies of Xenogears? Thomas says, you got all my games. It's true. I bought a lot of Thomas's games over the years. Thomas had a wild
collection.
A wild collection of just very good games. He just had good taste as a kid, or just really liked Capcom games. One of the two.
Thomas said, it's called taste.
I got so many games from Thomas, like Gotcha Force, Cubivore, the Mega Man Legends games. Is that what they are? I think so. Those are some of the big ones. Thomas might remember some of the other ones too. And like, who would have guessed that, you know, like, yeah, Legends is PS1. Thomas, did I get Tronbon from you, or did I get Tronbon from Roland?
I think we picked up Tronbon somewhere.
I think maybe we got that from Roland. Tronbon came into Player's Choice at some point, and he was like, Tronbon is here, and it's perfect. And I was like...
Okay.
Okay. That's just the sort of thing that you do. He's like, Tronbon is here, it's perfect. And I'm like, okay. Do I have store credit? He's like, yeah, you have store credit. I'm like, okay. Give it to me. Here's my weekly tithe. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. That's a thing that's happened over the years.
Tronbon's on PSN for like $7.
Yeah. I mean, those online services, it's probably the best way to play games at this point. It's the way you should do it. You should just buy a game or what's the service? PlayStation, is it Plus or one of them that lets you just like, I think it's like a monthly fee and then you can play maybe all those old games. I don't know how it works. I don't have that, but it's a good way to do it. Instructions unclear. Sending Steven Xenosaga. I have Xenosaga. I don't have Xenogears. I am missing what's the other Xeno game? Blade. I don't have Xenoblade 2? Maybe? I think I don't have Xenoblade 2. And Torna. Torna got a physical release now of that. Anyway, where was I? Back to the shelf. We got 18 months from Aaron the Baron. Vegetable Sorbet gifted 3 subs to FostY2K, Phoenix926, and Captain Blargy. Vegetable, thank you. I kept it simple by only liking Xenogears. I think generally people have several different games that they like, and sometimes the list increases over the years.
Yeah.
What's the most recent game
that I've played that I've really liked?
Yeah, like the most recent game in memory that you were like, this is now like a new modern favorite for you?
Tsushima.
That's a good answer. Or even Moon.
Yeah, Moon.
You've played Moon more recently than Tsushima. Tsushima just got released on the PC, so you can play Tsushima on the PC now. Persona, yeah, you played Persona also. I'm trying to think what my answer would be. I guess for me it's the Metroid series. If I had to pick one, it's definitely Super. And I'm only like maybe halfway through it. Oh, Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium is fantastic. I never finished it, but it was a game that I didn't have to put much time into to just know that, like, oh god, this is so good. I really, really love that game. Yeah. Mao and I actually started playing it together at some point, and we just got sidetracked with life or whatever and didn't end up finishing it, but it's so good. It's such a good video game. There's a video game for everybody, and I've talked to some folks that over the years they feel like, I don't know if they Oberdin was the best game I played last year. Best, hands down. Like over the years, like some people feel like they don't maybe qualify as like gamers anymore because they don't like video games as much as they used to, and I'm like, I don't know. That feels like a fairly like a normal thing to a degree. Like it's okay that as you age, the thing that you maybe obsessed over in your youth, you don't obsess over as much. I like to think of it, instead of not being as obsessive, it's more refined. It's like, okay, you have less time for hobbies, so you're more selective about what you played. That doesn't make you less of a gamer. It doesn't mean that you don't like video games. It just means that your time is more valuable, and if your time is more valuable, you're going to be more selective about, like, okay, what am I going to play? Because I don't have infinite time, so what do I want to put time into? It also makes really, really long games a lot harder
Yeah,
to justify.
The only reason I finished Persona was because I was recovering from surgery.
Honest to God, this data does not exist, I'm sure, but it would be so fascinating to find out the age demographic chart with game length. Because I have a feeling there's a correlation there. Like, games that are 100 plus hours are probably played less by people that have less time, that are a little bit older than younger people. It doesn't mean that there's not people in their 30s and 40s and 50s playing Persona, but I bet there's less. I bet there's less than people in their 20s. I have a feeling that that's probably somewhat true. Yeah. Haley says, I love 100 plus hour games, but I don't have kids, so I have time. Haley, don't hurt people. I met someone when I was back in Myrtle Beach. I went to was at Walmart, and they had. I was there with my parents and Dan, and we were just walking through, and I saw a game in a case, and it was $5, and I was like, for $5, that's fine. And I went up to the register, and I was wearing an Extra Life shirt, and the guy said, "Oh, hey, I like your shirt," and I was like, "Oh man, it's so rare to find someone that knows what Extra Life is."
Yeah.
And he had a Zelda tattoo, and I was like, "I like your tattoo." He's like, "That's for my daughter." So he had a daughter that he named Zelda, and the Triforce and everything. So we went over to the game case and got a game, and I said, "I don't know if it's any good." I said, "But for $5," I said, I'm in." And he's like, "Ah," he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I also have a bunch of like, bad games or whatever." And then he paused. There's like a beat, and then he said, "I don't have time to play them anymore." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, and then he just stared at me and he was like, "Because of my daughter." And I was like, I felt a little bad, but I also know that at some point, that person will be able to share the Legend of Zelda series with his daughter, and that will be a wonderful moment for him. So there will be some amount of time that he's probably be a little difficult. And he looked a little younger, so his daughter's probably young.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And DL says, "This is how parenthood works. No time to enjoy things." He says, "Unless she hates the game." Listen, let's not speak that into existence. Anyway, no matter how much time anybody has, anyone can still be a gamer and still play games and find some amount of time, whatever that time is, and it might be small, to play games. This is a great time to remind everyone that if you have an iPhone, the Delta emulator is great, because I
just finished a game on it last night.
I played through the entirety of Mother 3, and that was wonderful. Can't play anything that's not a turn-based RPG, because there's no tactile feedback, because it's a phone. And I don't want to carry around a controller. Yeah. Actually, RetroArch was also released onto iOS, so RetroArch just got released, I think, a week or two ago. It's pretty recent. He says, "The ergonomics of phone is bad." It's true. However, I am okay. I am okay. And I don't know if that was just because I was very diligent about how I played. Because, a few years ago when I played through Slay the Spire, that left me permanently injured,
yes.
Honestly. And
I was trying to think of a way to say that, but that's a good one.
And it did. It actually screwed me up, probably forever. But I learned one of the big tricks for me is that I can't have my arm closer than 90 degrees. So this is bad. Like this, okay. This, bad. So if I'm going to play a game for a long period of time, that's okay. Sure. But I have to make sure my arms are outstretched. So when I was playing game on phone, I have to have my arms out, right? And even if I'm doing it this way, that's fine. The other thing you got to be careful about is that sometimes, I will rest the bottom of the phone on my pinky, and I try to not do that.
See, I put it here, on this part, and that hurts.
What? How? Oh, sideways.
No, I do it that way too.
Okay. Yeah. The supporting pinky is bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because a lot of times I'm playing it in bed, and I don't need to do that anyway. I can just rest it on,
your stomach?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, just be careful. Just be careful. Because it sneaks up on you. Suddenly you're a little bit older and things get a little more fragile. So yeah, I had that conversation with Jules when I was at Colo.
Yeah.
Because he was like, yeah, I got this weird thing where, like, sometimes, like, my pinky hurts or my pinky will go numb, and I was like, that's your ulnar nerve. And he was like, and I was telling him about it, and I was like, when you play video games, Jules, how do you play the video games? And he was showing me, and I was like, Jules, keep your arms not at a greater than 90-degree angle. Haley says, you're welcome, I guess. Yeah, and the reason I know all of that is from Haley. Haley went through it, and then I went through it so Haley could teach me, and now Jules is going through it so I could teach Jules. We pass on this information generation to generation. Because I told him, I said, the thing that was the craziest thing was that I had to stop sleeping the way that I used to. And Haley says, then I got to stay in it. And, like, certainly your problems are worse than mine, but I do still have those problems. Like, if I sleep incorrectly, if I hold my phone incorrectly, I will re-trigger everything, like, in one day. So, I used to sleep like this. Not anymore. Had to stop that. Having nerves is a sucker's game. Nerves are crazy. Nerves are crazy. Anyway, here, have a bean. We had 300 bits from Blue-Haired Cyborg, who says, well, since it's the topic of conversation, I shall take this opportunity to tell everyone to play Nier Automata, which is my personal top game of all time. Super good game. I did a first 20, but I think I played like an hour of it. And I really enjoyed it. And they've since ported that, I think, to everything. Like, it's on, I think it's even on Switch. I don't know how well it runs on Switch, but very, very good game. The switchboard is impressive? Oh, that's good to hear. That's very good to hear. I'm still holding out hope that when we get Switch 2 Pro XL, that we will get the ability to run Switch 1 games at better frame rates. Hopefully that'll fix some Switch games. The Switch port is a miracle. That's so good to hear. There are so many times that they port games to Switch, and then I'll read reviews, and people be like, oh, the game is great. The Switch port is garbo.
I was going to say, Okage on PS5.
Yeah, that's a little different too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the game that I played on Switch? I did a first 20 of it, and it was terrible. It's the one that's not Bethesda. Outer Worlds. Yes. Space-time, not Bethesda game. Yeah. Obsidian, right? Obsidian makes that. Yeah, Outer Worlds was so bad. Like, oh, it was bad. Like, it was playable. I could tell that I would like the game. Haley says, which sucks because you'd really like the game. I could tell I'd like the game. But, like, yikes, man. Yikes. In order to keep the frame rate up, because they relatively did, in order to keep the frame rate up, the resolution is dynamic, but it's very noticeable. Like, very, very noticeable. And it changes drastically when you talk to people. So you'll just be walking around the environment, but then you'll go up to a person and have like a conversation like you would do in an Obsidian or Bethesda game, and then the resolution just completely changes. It's a lot. It's a lot. Cheesehammer gifted a sub to Butts. Thanks.
Geppy's holding my hand.
He is holding your hand. Good boy.
We're bathing.
Back to washing. It would be a good stream game, but also play Subnautica, because it's one of my favorite games of all time, and I want a reason to talk about it. It's like I said, I'm not making any promises about any specific things, but I did take that poll, and it was nice to hear from people what they were, kind of interested in seeing. And the Metroid series won by a hair, and I've been playing through the Metroid series, and I've been really enjoying it. So, after Super Metroid, I'll reevaluate what I want to keep playing and working through. But Subnautica is certainly on that list. And as is either Souls or Elden Ring. I don't know. I'm not sure which one I would play. Yeah, I think we're probably halfway through Super. So probably 2 more streams. 3 if things go real badly, but probably 2. Probably 2. I was like, is this Shantae? It is Shantae. So, we're getting near the end of the stream. The most important thing that you need to know is that in 15 to 20 minutes, at 10:15, Radio Dread's got it right there. We will be watching Fan Favorites 2023. I look back from all of the things from last year. And that will be a lot of fun. So be sure to join us for that. I just recently picked up almost all the Shantae games on Switch. That's actually the next vlog. Is Limited Run did a tent sale where they just had a bunch of, some of it was damaged, and then some of it was just overstock stuff that they just needed to get rid of. And they were selling, collector's editions for, $10. So I ended up getting a bunch of the Shantae games and the other stuff. So, in fact, it was it was insane because they had the stuff in the store where the normal game would be $35, but then you went to the tent sale and the entire limited edition is $10. There's limited editions for $10, $15, and $20. And I didn't even want them because I only wanted the game. I try not to collect collector's editions; they're too big. So I bought the collector's editions. I took the games out and put the games on the shelves, and then I took everything else that was a part of the collector's edition to Roland because I'm like, I don't want these things. I only wanted the game, and it was so cheap that I just got that. So I turned all that stuff in.
You hit Art Q?
Yes. You took a photo.
We're holding hands.
You are holding hands.
My nails need redone, dang.
Holding hands while he washes.
Still doing it.
Incredible. Incredible. Bravo, Andrew. It's amazing. Oops, all Thomas. All Thomas. Okay, so again, 15 minutes watching Fan Favorites. Mallory, are you streaming tomorrow morning at 11?
I am.
Okay. Any specific thing? Or
I'm continuing the painting.
still working on the painting? Okay. So, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern on Mal's channel. Join her for painting. And then tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, come on back here. And we'll Zelda. Things are happening in Zelda. There was a period of time where they weren't. I remember 1 or 2 streams where we just wandered around the depths and went, but now there's story beats happening, and thank God for that. Because when I'm not making progress on the game that takes longer than a year, it hurts my soul. But when I'm making notable progress, I'm like, oh, thank God. All right, now things are happening. Otherwise, that's it. That's it. Mal will also be streaming on Monday evening, playing more Dark Cloud 2, I believe. So
Yes.
And if you missed the second Dark Cloud 2 stream or the second Super Metroid stream, those will be out very, very soon on the VOD channel. Yeah. And shoot, I guess early next week you can expect a new Patreon video too, because it is June.
It is.
I can't believe June is here. All right, folks. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I sincerely hope that you have a wonderful Thursday. And I also sincerely hope that you'll join us in 15 minutes over on StephenVOD for Fan Favorites 2023. I'm just going to give you a dome now, and I'll see you in chat over there. Dome.